These are the #1 things you can do as a beginner or a master to increase sales and start to deepen the value you're getting from your sales career, especially if you're a beginner.
Oh, Big Dog Daddy B's in here working, come out.
A lot of people that want to get into sales always ask, what are the basics? What do we have to master in order to kick ass from the get-go? Well, the 11 basics that I'm going to talk about today are the main ones that you need to focus on. #1, the art of the introduction. Make sure that you understand one thing. Sales are about relationships, so make sure that your appearance is as fresh as it can be. Make sure your breath don't smell like you ate some kind of sandwich. Make sure that there's no food on your clothes from lunch, and by all means, make sure that you smile. See, you're being judged from the second somebody puts their eyes on you. Don't make it difficult to like you. Don't make it difficult to do business with you. So make sure you master the art of introduction. Now, a tip for the art of introduction is to smile, dude. You have to smile no matter if you have so many teeth missing it looks like your tongue's in jail. You need to smile, extend your hand. If it's over virtual mediums such as Zoom and other things, you need to smile. If you're on the phone, you need to stand up and smile even if it's over the phone. Folks, you have to master the art of introduction. That is key. You also have to master the art of asking great questions. You see, too many people think selling is all about talking, and it's not. The better questions you ask, the better information you'll get. The better information you'll get, the better you can build value in your product or service. And you know when a sale takes place? When the value of your product or service exceeds the value that they put on their money. It's pretty simple. As soon as you get the value of your product or service above the value of their money, an exchange takes place, which is what you're trying to accomplish. So if you're asking good questions, that allows you to get the ammunition and the information to ask further questions in a conversational manner and get from the customer the information you need to properly build value in your product or service. And in order to do that, that brings me to #3. You have to master listening. See, a lot of salespeople, they're not really listening to the customer. What they're doing is they're trying to hear what the customer is saying so they can respond intelligently. They're nervous, they're not quite sure how it goes. Again, this is for basics, the beginners. But they get a little bit nervous, so when they're listening, they're not really listening, they're just listening to respond. They're not listening to understand. So you want to master the art of listening. Too many people go into sales and they're not listening to the customer. You have to listen to the customer. If you master the art of listening, you'll be 10 times better off than someone who doesn't. #4, you want to master the selling framework. See, you have to adopt a framework. You have to understand that there's steps to a sale. Now, a lot of people will say the first step to the sale is the meet and greet. I don't agree with that. I think the first step to the sale is preparation. Now, as long as you have a framework, you're going to be okay. Don't go out there without a framework. Okay, a framework just simply means step. You can go step by step by step by step. Make sure that you don't shortcut any of those steps because each one has a meaning. But you want to master the framework so you can make sure that every single time is consistent, because once you find a groove and once you start hitting those sales left and right, you want to be able to go back and retrace your steps. You don't want to wonder, what did I say? What did I do? So you master the frameworks from the get-go. That brings me to the 5th thing that you need to master: asking for the sale. Too many people feel awkward or they miss the opportunity to ask for the sale. You have to master the ability to ask for their business. There is a point in time in every conversation, in every presentation, in every demonstration where asking for the sale is appropriate. You don't want to be one of those people that have a customer leave and find out later that you didn't even ask for the sale. Most people never even ask for the sale. So make sure that you master asking for the sale. Make sure that that's something that you do every single time, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's not the right time. As long as you do it and you continue to do it, you'll be able to hone those skills and make that better. #6, follow up. You know how many salespeople don't follow up? If you ask, I think the statistics are about 90% of salespeople don't follow up beyond the first contact. Studies show that it takes between 7 and 10 contacts for someone to make an actual purchase. So when the salesman doesn't follow up, how many of those customers are going to another salesperson and giving them the sale when you could have had it had you just followed up? But you want to master the art of follow-up. Follow-up isn't just pinging them over over and over saying, are you ready to buy? Are you ready to buy? Are you ready to buy? Follow up is an opportunity to build that relationship. Following up is an art, and you need to master that art of follow-up. Okay, and also don't forget a positive mental attitude. Let's call that number 7, a positive mental attitude. You need to master the art of being positive. Yes, it's possible. Yes, it takes a little work, but I can tell you it's the difference between a 5-figure salesperson and a 7-figure salesperson. Just the fact that you're positive, you're smiling, you're optimistic, you're solution-oriented, your enthusiasm transfers. So make sure that every single day you are working on that positive mental attitude and you are demonstrating positivity. When you get to work, leave your problems at the door, friends. Nobody cares that you got problems at home. Nobody cares that your wife's looking at frickin' your neighbor's butt. Nobody cares about what is going on in your life when it comes to buying a product or service from you. They're there to get information and or solve a problem. So you got to leave the problems at the door. Keep a positive mental attitude 100% of the time. I know it's difficult, but it can be done, and that's one of the things you have to master. Number 8, you have to master the ability to have thick skin. You can't let a no bother you. You can't let other salespeople that'll try to twist you bother you. You have to have thick skin. You have to be resilient. You have to be, open to feedback, open to criticism, and you can't take it personally. A lot of times customers might be rude to you. You can't take it personally. A lot of times sales managers might be rude to you. You can't take it personally. Folks, the sales profession is one of the highest paid professions in the world. You might expect a little bit of pressure. Well, a lot of people, when they get that pressure, they snap. They go home, they quit, they feel awkward, they feel uncomfortable, and they give up the program altogether. When, in reality, if they just would have mastered the art of deflection, mastered having thick skin like a rhino to where nothing bothers you, everything bounces off of you, and frickin' your day goes beautifully every single day. That's the art of thick skin. Number 9, the one you have to master most is the understanding that sales is really just a matter of relationships. You're looking to help people solve problems. In order to do that, you need to build relationships. So if you can master the art of building relationships quickly, establishing trust quickly, you're going to have a better opportunity to ask those questions, get those answers, build that value, and make that deal. Okay? Building relationships is something anyone can do, whether you're in sales or not, whether you're a beginner or not. You just have to understand, I'm not here to sell somebody, I'm here to help somebody. You're not a salesperson, you're a help person. See what I'm saying? Just use that mindset as you go to work every day and you start figuring out this game called sales, and you'll see very, very quickly that, man, there's no magic to it, man. You just have to be in the right place at the right time. The more hands you shake, the more money you make. The basics that you have to acquire are few. Here's 11, but man, I can give you probably 30 or 40 or 50. At the end of the day, man, the mindset that you have, the positive mental attitude that you have, the belief in yourself that you have, the ability to sell yourself is key. You have to sell yourself on yourself before you should try to sell other people anything. But when it boils down to the bottom line, it's all about building relationships. I mean, your referrals come from relationships, your reputation comes from relationships. You can make millions of dollars just from the network that you build while you're meeting these people. Not everyone's gonna buy. Doesn't mean you can't build a relationship, so when they're ready in the future, they do. Doesn't mean that you can't build a relationship, so maybe you can refer other people you know and connect people that way and make commission that way, because sometimes you don't have to sell it. Maybe you know someone who can help that individual. You put those two together and you make a commission simply for an introduction. Okay? The network that you have will directly contribute to the net worth that you have. So you want to make sure that you focus on that network and understand that it's about building relationships. The other one is asking for referrals. You want to master the art of asking for referrals. A lot of times people just come out and ask for referrals, and it makes it a little awkward, and customers don't want to give you names and phone numbers of their friends and family because they don't want you calling them and harassing them. So again, if you understand that you need to ask for referrals if you want to excel in the game of sales, you need referrals, then you have to master asking for referrals. You want to understand the elements of how to do it and exactly what to say so you don't come across pushy, you don't come across rude, and you don't come across intrusive. So how do you ask for a referral? Well, I teach one thing called flipping the script. Instead of asking directly for a referral, create a market. I'll give you an example. Hey, do you know anybody that wants to sell their car? Not buy their car, not buy a car, sell a car. Too many times, people don't want to give you referrals because they don't want you pushing and they don't want you calling their people. So if you do the opposite and you flip the script and now you offer to buy something from that customer, you'll find that people are much more willing to give you names and numbers of people that are looking to sell something, not buy something. So that's called flipping the script. you can master the art of asking for referrals, you're gonna nail it. Number 11, body language. Damn, pick up a book on body language. Check out podcasts and YouTube videos on body language. Understanding how to read body language will be an advantage to a beginner. 72% of communication is through the body. Not very much is verbal. So a lot of salespeople think talking is the key when listening is the key. But more importantly, understanding human behavior and body language will give you an advantage. Do you know why? Well, because you're going to be able to see whether they're liking what you're saying through their body language, their facial expressions, or not liking what you're saying. You're going to be able to see through body language and facial expressions whether or not they're about to say no and leave, or whether or not you need to shift direction. Having the ability to become a chameleon and adopt your customer's personality is going to be based off reading their body language, reading their micro expressions. So reading people, ultimately, you want to master the ability to read people. So if you're just entering this world called sales, welcome and congratulations. It's the highest paid profession in the world. I can tell you I've made millions of dollars in my career selling, and then I've built 8-figure companies with the ability to sell, close, and persuade people. So anybody that wants to dissuade you from entering into the sales world, start to implement these 11 tips, these 11 requirements, these 11 basics, if you will. And when you're making way more money than the people talking smack, just tell them OBL sent you. Send them to Bradleatv. Come out. I hope that answered your question. Obviously, I got more videos, so if you want to freaking keep learning, just keep clicking. Peace.